Hello, happy people. I hope you are just having an absolutely amazingly awesome day today. One of the best you've ever had. And if not, that will improve that level by a little bit here. All right, so today for my Video Game Wednesday, where I do reviews of older video games, I thought it would be fun to take a look at one of my favorite series of all time. The first game is one of my favorite games of all time. This is September 1st, 2020. This is Crusader Kings III, the final of three recently released grand strategy games that are made by Paradox and released by them too. And I just did Stellaris a couple last week. And I also did EU4 earlier, about a month or two ago. So good stuff. Lots. So the music here is classic love. Lots. It's by Andreas Waldetoft and Philip Waredom. All right. So like I mentioned before, the original is one of my top 5 video games of all time. I have more than 1,000 hours into the series. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2,000. This is a grand strategy game for the Middle Ages, and you play as a dynasty, not as a nation. You set up marriages, you try to spread to other military dynastically, and then sell your stuff. So it's a grand strategy, but it's more dynastically related, which is one of the things I love about it so much. In the first game, I started off playing Halseyland up in the Scandinavia, and I ended up creating Sweden. And grew, and then actually took on the Mongols in Nassau, and actually won with them. And then that was my first run through. Then I did Salerno and formed Naples in southern Italy. I did an Icelandic, I did an Irelandic minor, and united Ireland, and then took over the UK and ran all of Britannia. As the emperor, I've done lots of different things and such. Lots. So that's great stuff. So on Steam, this has, the third game, has a critic rating of 91%. Great stuff. And on Metacritic for the PC, which I played on, it's similar at 91% too, which is great, because typically the Metacritic ones tends to be a little lower, because Steam is more like Rotten Tomatoes. So did you like it, or did you not like it? But the Metacritic is more like, how much did you like it as critics? So the fact that they're pretty much identical is pretty good. Alrighty, so this game sees you keep control over your dynasty. You can legitimize bastards, appoint court advisors, try to keep your vassals happy, which they don't like you, pretty often. By appointing, you can appoint them to things, but they might not be as good as some of your better courtiers. But you need to keep politics. And that's sort of everything. You can dress up court. Build things for your court, dress it up, and hear people. Every so often you can actually hear and take some things from the locals and listen to them and then make decisions. And that sort of thing. So you have a bunch of stats that affect things like intrigue and stewardship, and then you get backgrounds and traits and stuff that'll increase them or decrease them, and that sort of thing. Some are good, like just, and some are bad, like inconsiderate vices. You also keep track of piety and merit, prestige, and cash. You can collect relics, or have your advisors make them for your court, and then to help you, as well as heading out on crusades, because it's called Crusader Kings. So that's a part of it too. Alrighty, you can choose your background of passion and get better over time. As time passes on and you develop too, you can also do tech developments too. But the tech developments in here just aren't something as simple as I'm just going to explore this tech and then get it. You have to have your culture must have embraced that technology first. You also and your vassals can host hunts, grand festivals, global outlaws. The game is deep, very, very deep. Ideally, you want to expand, but not so much, because if you do and have multiple sons, then they will split your inheritance. Particularly if you have multiple titles of the same equal to yours. So, for example, if you have multiple duchies but no king that connects them all, then all your sons will inherit your different duchies, right? When you die. Similarly, if you have multiple kingdoms but no emperor. And that sort of a thing. So I started my first run in the recommended in southern in Ulster in Ireland and that sort of thing. United Ireland very, very fast, and which is a kingdom and that sort of thing. But there's actually 4 kingdoms in Britannia, Scotland, Wales, and England and Ireland, and that sort of a thing. So if I died after grabbing another kingdom, then my son, because I haven't grabbed the Britannian emperor, then both my sons would split the kingdoms. Makes sense? So you definitely want to keep yourself strong. And I actually ended up taking over Scotland. I thought I was going to grab Wales first, but then I took about half of Wales and allied with some others, and then England came in and took over the other half. So we split it evenly. And because we split it evenly, we were both major powers, we couldn't exactly attack each other. Alrighty, so that's good stuff. Alrighty, and then the art's great, the music's great, like I mentioned before. The UI, surprisingly good for a Paradox game, and that sort of a thing. So I'm giving this a total 12 out of 10, if I could. It's an actual 10 out of 10, obviously. It's an epic storytelling device, and with more of a dynastic concern than traditional stuff. You can still declare war, but only on things rather than things you have claims on, only on territory, right? In EU4, the war declarations are a little different, and oftentimes when you declare war on something, if it's in your jure titles, they will keep it their title, right? So when I was the Duke in Ireland, and I brought in a county that was in my initial duchy, he actually kept his control. He just moved from an independent count to me. It makes sense, but he actually kept control, and now he's really not happy because I just conquered his land, and he did right, and that sort of thing. And now he's probably going to rebel, right, and that sort of thing. So you have to keep everybody happy. You can try to kill people. You can plot with your spy master, and that sort of thing. Great stuff, lots, heavily stuff. It's strong stuff, lots. Total 10 out of 10. Alrighty, so that's CK3 for you folks at a 10 out of 10 by Paradox and from 2020. So have you played this game? What did you think about it? Remember, I'm just a fan, and I was not given this as a free game. I'm not a professional game reviewer. I don't play games for a living. Right. So your opinion is just going to be as valid as mine is, right? So what did you think about it? Did you play it? Did you agree with my 10 out of 10 for your folks? Love it lots if you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Then if you like this, lots more video games like this come. Like I said, I did Stellars and NDU4. A couple of weeks ago, I did Heroes of Might and Magic 3, then 2. Then in Might and Magic 6, from the late 90s, or mid-90s in the case of Hero of Might and Magic 2. And then I've also done everything from Wasteland in the late 80s and RPG to 2 Point Museum on this game. So if you like those video games reviews, check them out. Also, on Friday, I do reviews of top 10s of various things. I just did my top 10 independent films. Last week I did my top 10 board games, so if you like to check it out. I also recently did my top, on Saturday, I dedicate to the lost storytelling method of serials like movies and TV shows like Flash Gordon or The Adventures of Buck Rogers and that sort of thing. Or did recently, the Spider's Web, which heavily inspired me from 37. So if you like that stuff, check it out. Last week was, I'm now in Doctor Who's second season from the 60s. This last week I did 65's The Chase. It's the third appearance of his arch enemy, the Daleks, and I just watched the Tom Meddler earlier today. We're reviewing that and knocking it out for you. So that'll be next week. Also, on Monday I do reviews of older things in the role-playing or wargaming world. I just did D3's Volt of the Drow from 78 in the first edition of Dungeons & Dragons, and set Greyhawk by Rageair, the co-creator of the game. It's the phenomenally great series. And that series hit the top module from Dungeons & Dragons of all time in its 30th anniversary in a magazine called Dungeon. So yeah, great stuff. Alright, so there you are. And then I also do 3 reviews a week of these older things in fantasy, science fiction, and horror too. So if you like those older things, then definitely share, watch, do all the YouTube stuff. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, right? Hit the bell icon if you're feeling frisky to be notified of my 7 videos. We call it sort of stuff. Love it lots. Also, if you like that, then please check it out more. Alrighty, as you can tell, all those older things in that list are the passion and the title of this channel, which is a quote by French philosopher Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? Not that there's anything wrong with new books or movies or new video games, right? But our passion and quest for the new we've sort of forgotten the power and usefulness of the old and the great stuff that those were out there, right? So that's sort of passion. It's also my first strength in strengths quest context, right? I love learning more about stuff. I like to watch older stuff because I feel like I'm more invested in and knowledgeable about the modern stuff, right? So there are two. Actually, for video games too, like Crusader Kings I. That's a different thing. Alrighty, so there you are. Thanks so much for watching my video. I appreciate it so very, very much because we all have, so many things that are happening right in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And so I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again and have an amazing day.